Hey, it's Kent Jones with Jones and Associates PC in Cleveland, Tennessee. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the subject of divorce because that's quite a bit of our practice, and kind of start off from the beginning. Most of the cases that we get tend to fall into three categories, and I may have mentioned this before, but starting out, whichever case it's in, unless it has been a situation that has pretty much been made up by the parties for quite some time and they're friends and, in agreement with it, there is what we've called a crisis period. Crisis period is the period in which things aren't going right, nothing seems to work out, the puzzle's not put together. And it can last from, a few weeks, a month, to a few years or longer, depending on the circumstances. But most of the people that come into the office for a divorce want an irreconcilable differences divorce, or what's known as an ID divorce, commonly known as an agreed upon divorce. And that's pretty much where we've agreed that I get the car, we split the bank account, he gets the truck, and things like that. And with respect to the children, we'll just share parenting time, split holidays, and we do the proper court documents and get it done. Usually those can be done fairly quickly, even though there still is a 60-day waiting or cooling off period for divorces without children, and a 90-day cooling off period for divorces with children. We initiate a divorce by filing a complaint if one hasn't already been filed against us. It's traditional litigation. Complaints filed, answers filed. If it's truly ID, then usually you don't get into a lot of discovery. We work out the documents. No children, it's going to be a marital dissolution agreement. Children, it's going to be a marital dissolution agreement, a permanent parenting plan, and a child support worksheet. And again, even if they come in as irreconcilable differences, there are a lot of times that they turn into contested divorces. And when I say that, it's a broad range. It could be slightly contested. It could be contested for a long period of time, just because the parties don't really haven't really covered all the issues. So the next phase is what we call the discovery phase. It's a traditional litigation phase where requests for production of documents, interrogatories are sent out by each party to get information. We gather that information, and if everybody's in agreement, then we go forward, and if not, in traditional litigation, usually we move into depositions, but in divorce, probably at that point, the best thing to do is to move into mediation, get the parties to agree on a mediator, and sit down for however long it takes, an hour, 7 hours, it just depends, and get a mutual agreement signed off on by everyone. Mediator submits a report to the court. We do an order, file it with the court, and go forward. Again, without children, it's simply, you do a marital dissolution agreement. It's got to be proper. It's got to be perfect, because you don't want to have any problems with it in the future. You get that all done. You wait your 60 days. And then we draft what's called a final decree of divorce. That's filed with the court, signed by the judge, and we get you a copy of it, and then you're divorced. The only thing that I can think of on this part, which is part one of a series that I'm developing, I'm not quite finished with it yet, The only thing I can think of is a lot of times people come back later, the females, and want to have their name restored to their maiden name. If you want that, tell your divorce attorney at the time you're doing the divorce you want to go ahead and do that, because that'll be included in the same filing fee that you pay the court for the divorce. And if you end up doing it later, you have to file a whole new name change petition and pay for that. In the next few phases, we'll go into the more complicated divorces. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 423-424-6208. I still have the joneslaw08@gmail.com email address, but I also am converting over to jonesandassociatespc@gmail.com. So either one you want to use. The Jones and Associates PC is all spelled out, and again, it's at gmail.com. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and I'm going to be cheering for the Rams, but given the predictions that I've made at the end of this football season, we'll see. Talk to you later.